So, I hear we're into some of the same stuff. Welcome back. It's me, your host, John, and without me, again, is my supposed-to-be co-host, Eric Mitchell, who's still out gallivanting. Looks like we have to wrap up our special two-part series on our trip to Canada, and Podcast Revolution has made its niche, and will continue, and here we go. Let's get right back into the Hockey Hall of Fame right now. Greetings, and we're back. All right, so we are at the bottom of CN Tower right now, and apparently we've lost producer Melissa. We'll go find her. I am here with Eric and Bacteria Mike, and CN Tower was great, and Hockey Hall of Fame was awesome. But now, Eric and I are about to play a game of air hockey, a game at which Eric has never beaten me. Bacteria Mike, will you do the play-by-play commentary?
I will. So right now, the two players, Eric and John, are setting up. John has the puck first. He gives it off to Eric. Up. There was a little bit of stoppage with friction. And Eric takes the first shot, and he misses. Up. There's a shot on the net, but he missed again. Up. John's not doing much work here. He's just, and Eric, while he was trying to shoot way too much, scored on himself. It is now 1-0 John. Eric hits off with great force. And he keeps going and going with John not doing much. He's like a sloth right now. And Eric scores on himself again. John is now up 2-0. And here's Eric on the attack. And now John stops it. He controls it. He passes it off. Now he's letting it to Eric. Eric shoots. Nothing. There's a little slowage right now. And Eric takes a nice shot. It's now 2-1 John. And John says it begins. John is going on the attack. He makes his first shot with great force, just misses.
I love the airflow on this table.
John says that he loves the airflow on this table. It looks great, really fast and scary looking. So now, John scores again for his first goal himself. It's now 3-1 John. Eric shoots off. He misses. He gets it back. Shoots out. Misses again. John is just chilling there, not doing much, just letting him make his own mistakes. And, Eric scores again. It is now 3-2 in favor of John.
I'm afraid of Eric. You should be afraid of me.
John doing some smack talk here, saying that Eric should be afraid of him. And John scores. It is 4-2 on a nice bank off the side. Eric starts off, just misses, he gets it back, controls it, shoots, scores. It is now 4-3 John. 4-3. John shoots off, misses. Nice stop by John on the return. And it's out of play. It just hit me. I should not be. And we have found producer Melissa. She is back. Okay, so now Eric shoots off, he misses, and it's out of play again, hitting a vending machine. John starts off. He's controlling, stopping, shoots, scores. 5-3 John. Eric starts off, controls it, shoots, misses, gets it back, bounces. John gets the rebound and scores on a one-timer. It is now 6-3. Eric shoots off, misses, bouncing back and forth. John has control. John brings it back, stops, shoots, misses. Eric has it back, misses. It's now going back and forth. And it's out of play again on some pretty hard shots by both opponents. John starts off, takes a shot, misses. Nice save by Eric. John now on the attack here. Eric can't really do much except for just try to block with his life. Out of play. John gets it back, starts off, shoots, misses. John gets it back, slows it down, shoots, misses again. Eric just waiting patiently, was almost zen-like here while John goes in the attack, trying to make something out of this one. Oh, off the inside of the post for Eric's shot, just missing. Eric gets it back. Now Eric's on the attack. John following, tracking. John gets it back, shoots, misses. Eric gets it back, shoots. Very fast-paced game here. And Eric scores on a bouncer off the side. It is now 6-4, John. John gets it back, scores on himself. 6-5, Eric. Ooh, things looking not too good here for Team John if he can keep up with this. Going back and forth, back and forth. Eric gets it, misses. Oh, scores Eric. 6-6, all tied up on a shot by John on his own goal. That's just harsh. This game is very intense, folks. Oh! And John wins. John wins 7-6. Well, John, what do you have to say about that game?
I have to say a lot. That's crap. Eric scored 3 goals on himself in that game. This was terrific. This was amazing. This was wonderful.
Yeah, you won in sudden death.
Hey, I'm still undefeated against Eric. What do you have to say, Eric?
Go away.
All right, there you have it. His trip to Canada has been ruined.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
All right. And just like in America, Eric is awful at air hockey. Thank you.
Although routine, that was a very special victory for me because it was my first out-of-country victory in air hockey. So now in Canada, I am officially undefeated. Thank you.
Greetings and welcome back to this Canadian special of Podcast Revolution. We are back in our hotel room. It's Sunday morning. It is Independence Day in America, but guess what? We're not in America, but we're still celebrating Independence Day, aren't we, Eric?
Today we celebrate our Independence Day.
And by celebrating it, we're watching Star Wars on Spike.
Yes, we are. And it's funny because they're showing all American stuff and American commercials and all this American things, but we are not here. We're in America's hat.
Yes, for lack of a better term. Actually, I'm sure most of you can come up with better terms. Why don't you send them in? But so what's the plan for today, Eric?
We're going to go to this big mall and walk around.
I think big mall is kind of an understatement. Why don't you clue them in on where we're going?
We're going to this place called the Eaton Center that's an incredibly large mall, and next to it is also the world's largest bookstore. And
the bookstore has approximately 11 miles worth of bookshelves. And if you want to look it up, it's called the world's biggest bookstore.
That's not a very creative name.
No, it's not.
It's right to the point, though.
Yeah, but I still don't like it.
It doesn't leave you guessing.
I still don't like it.
Technically, it's owned by Chapters Books, but they kept the name World's Biggest Bookstore.
It doesn't keep you guessing?
No, it doesn't.
Kind of like a Nicholas Sparks novel or movie?
Let's change the subject immediately.
We also ate some sausage pizza last night.
You and Bacteria Mike ate sausage pizza.
Yeah.
I didn't eat any with you.
Do you have any pizza left over?
I have 3 slices of pepperoni left.
How did you not finish your pizza?
Because I ate 6 slices, and producer Melissa left her additional slices.
Yeah, she didn't eat much pizza last night.
Wasn't too hungry.
No. It's like when we went to the movies and I was like, oh, she's trying to get big, so give her the big popcorn. She should eat more pizza.
Okay.
Oh, man. And it's 10 o'clock. We'll be heading out soon.
By the way, for those of you who have been guessing for hours on who won the hockey shootout, or shooting at the hockey screen at the Hockey Hall of Fame, let's talk to the winner over here, Bacteria Mike.
Yes, I beat everyone here with 3 goals.
It was quite impressive.
Thank you. I felt more confident in my shooting abilities than in my goaltending abilities.
And I think I had the fastest kilometers per hour, but the goalie stuffed me completely. But actually, I stuffed him at one point when I shot the ball directly into his crotch and he fell over in pain.
Yes, he did. That was really funny.
I didn't think they had a specific animation for that, but I was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, pretty much. I was too.
All right, so far...
But in awesome news is that last night we made a Facebook group, so it'd be awesome if everyone joined that to keep up to date with all of the happenings and the new podcasts coming out.
Hopefully by the point you're listening to this, you've already joined the group, but please tell your friends, invite them, and yeah, it'll be great.
Definitely.
All right, so we will keep you up to date with our happenings. Bon voyage.
Alright, so we actually did a pretty bad job of following up on what we just said we'd do. We didn't actually record the rest of the day, but we did get some good sights in, saw some interesting people, and enjoyed ourselves. So let's fast forward a little bit to the car ride home.
Greetings and welcome to our ride home from Toronto. Right now we just finished up with Niagara Falls and we are waiting on Rainbow Bridge.
Rainbow Bridge. For those who have played Mario Kart, you remember Rainbow Road? It's kind of like that, only it's a bridge.
It is kind of like that, and I wish I had a turtle shell right now to throw at somebody.
Well, the car in front of us, they just threw a banana peel at us.
That lousy Pennsylvania bastards.
That I heard.
Yes. Anyways, so this was a pretty successful trip, guys.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I agree.
I don't think we podcasted last night, so Eric, do you want to reveal who we saw yesterday?
We did. Oh, sure. So we did.
Prefacing first.
Oh well, we had a long and mighty conversation experience with a Canadian, which we were hoping to see, but. What was probably one of the highlights of the trip was, so we were meeting up with my professor who lives in Toronto for, just meet up for the afternoon, get some drinks and stuff, and we were supposed to meet him at this hotel called the Royal York Hotel, and we walk into the hotel, this was like the basement of it we went into through like an alternate entrance, and we couldn't, there was like roped off areas everywhere, like we couldn't get anywhere. We're trying to figure out how do we get into the lobby, and all these stairs were blocked off, and so we're trying to go upstairs, and this one Canadian security guard who took his job way too seriously was like, "Hey guys, you can't go up there. There's two cops and they have guns." And we kind of laughed because we're like, "Don't all cops have guns?" But
Are they gonna shoot us if we try stepping up?
yeah, so we're like, okay, well, Mr. Canadian, you're not really intimidating us. One, because we're American, and two, because cops usually have guns.
In America, our teachers have guns.
Yeah, I would say you're talking to the wrong people here, Mr. Security Guard. So we get on this elevator and we go up, and we see people everywhere, and there's some Mounties by the door, which are the Royal Mounted Police. We see some like vinyl ropes and people with cameras, and we thought there might have been a celebrity or something. So we're trying to figure out what is going on. And then finally we go to this info desk and we go, what's going on? She goes, we can't confirm.
And I asked if, I was like, oh, is Obama here or something?
Yeah, so John asked if Obama was there, and they said no. So then we went upstairs over this balcony where everybody was, where everyone's getting ready, and finally we asked this one guy, we go, what's going on? He goes, the Queen is here, which is the Queen of England, because Canada is a Commonwealth of England. So we're just like, you gotta be kidding me, like, this is one of the biggest people in the last 100 years of like history, really. She had a lot to do with World War II, with when was she born? I don't think she was around for World War One, but she had a lot to do with World War II, with working with Churchill. She's, the head of the monarch in England. I mean, this is the Queen of England, and we saw her, which is really cool. She came out, we got some pictures, and it's just kind of like the cherry on top that by accident we end up at this place and then we see the Queen of England. And it was probably her last trip to Canada too, because she's very old. So
it was very exciting.
Yeah, it was really exciting. So Canada's a great place. As much as everyone kind of makes fun of it and we joke about it, it really is an awesome place. I mean, I almost want to do a fake commercial for visiting Canada. So
nothing on this trip was bad.
Nothing really was. Everyone was really nice. Paris. Then we went on Toronto Island. We got to go in the city.
Actually, do you think we can say on air about Bacteria Mike's purchase?
Bacteria Mike, you want to talk about a purchase you made? Which purchase was that? Oh, yes. So we got this little flyer in the lobby of the hotel that we stayed in, and they were advertising Cuban cigars. So, of course, in America, since we cannot buy them, and I never had one, I was very intrigued. And so we were walking on Yonge Street, which is
Actually, it's pronounced Young.
Young?
Young.
All right, it's a Yonge Street. I'm sorry, and it is apparently the longest road in the world, being 1,000 miles long. And anyways, we found this one little shop, and I purchased a Cuban cigar, smoked it last night, and it was very enjoyable.
You Castro supporter, you. Yeah, you're gonna get kicked out of America.
It sucks to be me.
Well, if he does get kicked out, he knows where he's going to go.
Producer Melissa, did you enjoy the trip?
I enjoyed it very much. I especially like the Eaton Mall. Eaton Mall.
The Eden Center was...
Center, and it has like 250
Bajillion.
250
And there's some-
something stores.
There were
and-
some stores that were 5 stories tall.
Yeah, the whole mall was like how many stories? 5.
5 or 6, depending on what section you're at.
Yeah, it's like a girl's dream right there if you like to shop. So next time I definitely have to bring like a good amount of money and spend like at least the whole day, maybe 2 days there at the mall shopping.
We got Hulk Hogan on the bridge next to us. So
Is that a mullet I see?
Yeah, the other he's a we got like Macho Man, Randy Savage, Hulk Hogan mix on the bridge right now. Look at this guy. There's a really flabby guy who's bald with the long hair like Hulk Hogan walking on Rainbow Bridge right now. And needless to say, it's hilarious. But, this is a great trip. I recommend to all the listeners out there, go to Toronto. It's awesome. I mean, we had a really good time. One thing that was really cool, we went in the CN Tower, which is actually it was the tallest building in the world. Now I think it's second or third. But it has the tallest observatory in the world. So we went up there, and they have a glass floor. We got to walk across that, and we got some Canadian pizza.
Oh yeah, some pizza.
Some pizza A. What else, John? I'm trying to remember everything we did.
We did a lot of stuff. We took a tour of this island that from the top of CN Tower looked tiny. It looked like it would take 5 minutes to walk across. It actually took us over 40 minutes, and we didn't get the whole way across. It was a fun island.
And Mike, do you want to make a comment about the beaver in Canada?
There is a lot of beaver in Canada.
Oh my! There is so much beaver in Canada. I don't even think they know what to do with it. What do you think, Mike?
I'd agree with you on that one.
Yeah.
Now I can see why people come to Canada. They come for the beaver.
It's funny. There's so much beaver, but Mike didn't even get any.
I know, Mike. There was a lot of beaver that we saw in Canada. There was a lot of good beaver. I mean, it was different. Like, American beavers are sometimes, a little bit bigger, but the beavers in Canada are definitely.
Oh, Eric, you might want to talk about the Great American Challenge.
Oh. So, another place we went to was by the Eden Center. It was an adult store called, was it the Stag store? Stag Shop. And we went in just for, a good time to get some laughs at everything that was in there. And it was all, it was an adult film and novelty and adult costume store. And we went upstairs in this adult toy store.
Meant to resemble a man's unit.
And meant to resemble a man's unit. And there was one that was called the Great American Challenge, which was great because we're Americans, we're in Canada, so we want to know exactly what they think of American units. So the Great American Challenge must have been about, it said 24 inches, and it was about, the diameter was maybe my fist almost.
A Coke can? Maybe?
A Coke can, probably.
Maybe more.
Maybe more. And it was $130, and it was the Great American Challenge. And what did you guys think of the Great American Challenge?
I found that pretty funny.
Pretty funny? What do you think, John?
I think it would be pretty challenging.
What do you think, Melissa?
Yes, extremely challenging.
It was an extreme challenge. So we're hoping, you know what? We should have a podcast revolution tour next year where the listeners can join us
on the trip to Canada. Like, and I think someone needs to do the Great American Challenge.
Everybody needs to pitch in.
All the listeners out there, if you want to come with us next year, we're going to make this an annual trip. If you want to do the Great American Challenge, I think we will all buy you dinner after, if you can do the Great American Challenge. Mike, do you think it's possible for someone to do a Great American Challenge?
Well, Turcotte maybe, but I couldn't think of anyone else.
And I'd like to ask you to take that back right now.
I don't know, I kind of agree with him. What do you say to that, John?
I say I'm going to cut this part out of the thing.
Aww.
Yeah.
Aww.
Yeah.
Anyways.
What? Anyways, moving on. Yeah, right now we're on the American side of Niagara Falls. We just need to go through customs, which we're almost there.
We're almost there. So we'll come back after customs, everybody.
So, turns out that it took us a little bit longer than we expected to wait at the border, and we probably could have talked for another 15 minutes. But that's okay. We got some good discussion in off the air anyways. Kind of like those pilots who were supposedly discussed in a deep conversation when they went like an hour off course. But anyways, we have one more topic of discussion, and that'll be it for our trip. So I hope you enjoyed listening to it, and feel free to let us know what you thought. Greetings and welcome to this final segment of our Toronto Special Edition episode. This is John here, and we are on 495 in Massachusetts right now, almost all the way back. It is 10:30 at night, approximately 12 hours since we began our journey home, and we've made pretty good time.
Yeah, what do you think back here, Mike?
It's looking pretty good. We haven't hit any traffic except for at the Rainbow Bridge over at Niagara Falls, which was absolutely amazing.
Well, we did see Macho Man Randy Savage at Rainbow Bridge, so it was kind of worth the wait, I suppose. But
oh yeah.
So for you listeners, you probably heard us talking about that about 30 seconds ago.
That's okay. It was so good, we had to say it again. And speaking of good, we stopped at a rest stop earlier and got some McFlurries.
Excellent dessert.
It was excellent, and it was actually probably the cleanest bathrooms at a rest stop I've ever seen, which was a pleasant surprise, which was very nice, because usually restrooms at rest stops are not very restful, I guess would be the word.
Yeah, those look like nightmares, man.
Yeah, so it was a good time, and I don't know what else is there to say.
This trip has been positive in almost every sense of the word, and like really, the only bad thing that happened on this trip was we had to wait about 15 minutes at the border to get back into America. Other than that, it was absolutely perfect.
And being surrounded by Canadians, that was awesome. That was a good time.
Am I supposed to be on that side?
It doesn't matter.
Oh, okay.
You're good.
It's pretty cool over there, but it's all good.
Yeah,
There's a lot of construction going
We are
on.
podcasting while on the road right now. Not something we recommend you do at home.
We are trained professionals.
So, and again, we will be planning a trip next year, so maybe some of our listeners can meet us up.
All right, so Eric, what was your favorite thing on this trip?
My favorite thing was seeing the Queen, I think. I thought that was really cool. I mean, it was something that was quick. It wasn't like the most, I'd say, exciting part of the trip, but I mean, to me, as a cool, I'm into history. This is a big person of the last really 100 years. Probably her last time in Canada or even North America, for that matter. So just running into her by accident, which is really cool. So to me, that was my favorite. How about you, Mike?
Oh man, nothing can really top that. I mean, just culturally, that was just awe-inspiring.
That was pretty cool.
It's like wow. None of us are over that yet. I mean, I don't think we will for a while. I'll be talking about that for quite some time to come. That's for sure.
The Queen of England in the same room, and what I thought was crazy too is like, no one really. I don't know. Maybe it's because we were in there by accident, but like, no one like searched us already. Like someone. I mean, this is you know.
I'm sure I saw a lot of secret security around. Like, I was looking around and I noticed there were people who were definitely security.
So they were in like civilian outfits, but they were, yeah.
But no, that was a lot of fun. And I think the biggest thing for me was seeing the actual culture of Canada and how it compares to US. Because like I said, I felt more that my life was in more danger at Disney World than I was in Toronto. Like, it was a clean place, and everyone was nice. And there was the only sketchy people there were the homeless people, and there weren't too many. I almost interviewed some of them.
One thing I thought was funny too was we went to this restaurant in Canada called the Lone Star Cafe and Grill, and it was like a American themed restaurant, which was really funny. And we had a Canadian greet us going like, "Howdy!" And so that was kind of fun. Again, it's kind of like when I said I saw gangster Canadians. It's like, oh, you silly Canadians! Like, what are you doing? Producer Melissa, what was your favorite part?
Probably the mall. That was very interesting. But just walking around downtown, seeing all the different stores and the buildings, the architecture is all really cool.
That was very cool. And even the car ride was kind of fun. It's funny, but road trips are really fun.
The journey is half the trip.
It really is. And one thing I thought was really funny in Toronto, people just park like all over the road. Like,
well, like there's 2 lanes almost everywhere, like 2 lanes in each direction. But the right lane, people just park along the road, which we couldn't wrap our head around that.
It wasn't like there was like metered spots or like little areas marking that it's a parking spot. It's just like, hey, look, let's just park there, okay.
Another weird thing is that whenever a light turns green, the people who are walking that way get to go too.
Yeah. So you kind of like run them over, but I guess the Canadians are too nice to like run each other over.
If you're gonna turn right, you have to wait a while for all the people to actually walk.
I think Canadians are probably like the nicest people on the planet. Like, you could probably punch a Canadian in the face and they would apologize to you. Like,
sounds like the Amish, actually.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding either. The Amish actually are against fighting people in any form, even in self-defense. Did you know that?
Really?
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe the Canadians and the Amish are almost the same.
Same wavelength.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was awesome, and it was weird. Like, one time, a biker like accidentally kind of cut us off, but not really. But he still apologized. Not something you'd see at home. You'd see them like flipping you off.
Yeah. It was pretty much the opposite of New York. Essentially, is kind of what Toronto is. So
it was clean, and the streets weren't overcrowded.
No, not at all. So,
but certainly weren't empty.
No.
So, yeah, this trip was a success in almost every form.
It was, and what do you got to say, Mike?
Well, I haven't done that much walking in a very long time.
Yeah,
it was awesome.
We're a little out of shape from all this walking. That's sure. That's
true.
true.
We couldn't make it to the world's largest bookstore.
Yeah, that'll have to be on next year's. Yeah, we can walk the 11 miles of bookshelves at the world's largest bookstore, which is in Toronto. Another claim to fame in Toronto, the world's largest bookstore.
Short Circuit 2 before we go, and then keep note of all the landmarks that are in that movie.
We could watch Canadian Bacon too with John Candy.
Oh, naturally.
There's some other Canadian culturally significant.
Actually, one thing I noticed, I'm not sure if I've talked about this on the podcast already, but that the Canadian flag is everywhere, like on cars, on houses. People have a lot of pride in their country. And in America, when you see people with their flags everywhere, you're like, oh, that person's white trash, they're a hick. Well, not everybody, but people who do it excessively, that's what comes to mind right away. But in Canada, it's just ubiquitous. It's everywhere.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's kind of funny because, you know, when I see, usually, at least for me, when I'm driving and I see American flags on something, it's usually some, like, huge pickup truck with, like, a redneck in it or something. And
shotgun rack.
Yeah, like a "Don't mess with America" like sticker type of thing. So it's kind of a breath of fresh air. I guess I wish United States was kind of like that too. So maybe I'll start flying a flag and maybe it can catch on.
Hopefully.
Yeah, maybe. And another exciting piece of news, we didn't really talk about too much, but we started a Podcast Revolution Facebook group.
I talked about that last night.
Did he? Okay, well, we'll have to get the exact URL so we can give it out to people too. So definitely look for it on Facebook. I mean, we don't have the exact URL right now, but try to find it, or if you're friends with us or someone who's on the group, try to find it. And tell all your friends, let them know. And maybe we could even get some shirts made or something, too.
Nice. Spread the love.
Exactly. So when I go to England in the fall, I plan on wearing a Podcast Revolution shirt so we can get some British listeners. And it's a lot to look forward to in these coming, coming months. We got a lot of fun stuff coming up. We got a dance-off planned. We got John and producer Melissa's wedding. We got, what else do we have this summer coming up? There's a lot of potential interviews and fun things. And again, if anybody wants to join us on an episode, let us know, and it'll be a good time.
Try to accommodate.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we don't have any questions from our viewers unless someone has a way of checking the mail, but I don't think we do.
Nope.
No.
We'll save that for a real episode.
Yeah, for a real one. So, what I think is kind of funny is this episode was a lot different too. Our real episodes, I think, are a little more kookier and crazy, where this one was kind of a little more relaxing, which kind of makes sense because we're on vacation. So I think the mindset was very vacation-y, which is kind of nice. What do you think, John?
Yeah, pretty much it's been more just us talking about what we've seen instead of what we think.
Yeah.
Well, we have gotten some stuff off our chest. Did we talk about money already?
About how their money is awesome?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
Okay, well, just to reiterate the point, their money's awesome and we need to change that.
Yeah, we agree. We decided after 4 days of Canadian money, American money is lacking. So maybe we could write a letter to the governor about how we need money.
One thing I loved about Canada was that they have it right, where hockey is everywhere in every store, and then there's one basketball shirt in the store. That's how it should be here, or less than that for basketball. But no, I belong there, pretty much, is what I'm saying.
You belong there. So does this mean, John, that there's a potential, could you become a Canadian?
If they offered me enough money to go there, I would.
You would. What about you, Mike? If you could become a Canadian, would you do it?
Seeing what I saw in Toronto, I could definitely most likely do it. Just that I got it's a little daunting hearing the price tag on the house that John sold.
Yeah.
Different John.
Different
Oh,
John.
yes, I'm sorry, yes.
So,
Different John.
Canadian John.
Canadian John, there we go.
Yeah, a little daunting. One thing I thought was really funny about Canada is we saw some a sign to save our shoreline, no wind turbines. That was kind of funny. I think we might have talked about that earlier too, but either way, it was funny seeing that just because it's like, oh, get rid of greenhouse gases, not, oh, no. Can't happen. So.
Not in my backyard.
Not in my backyard.
Yeah, we noticed a lot of hockey nets in people's driveways and no basketball hoops, which was also pretty awesome.
So, again, John's vendetta on basketball. Hopefully next time we go there might be a Blue Jays game too. I would enjoy seeing a baseball game for like $4. Actually, you can watch it for free if you go to the Hard Rock Cafe.
That's true.
So
yeah, we'll definitely have to figure it out next time we go. And it's only been technically 2 full days in Toronto, but it felt like a week.
yeah. And then we saw Niagara Falls, which was nice. And just one thing I like about being on vacation, this one, I didn't even think about anything that bothered me.
Yeah.
It was just 2 days of I didn't think about anything that.
Just pure enjoyment.
Yeah, it was just I'm in Canada, I'm seeing maple leafs everywhere, and people are saying sorry to me every 5 seconds, and it was great. It was just
Sorry.
And as Mike and I noticed, there is some wonderful scenery in Canada.
Oh yes, and lots of beaver.
And lots of beaver, so that's another reason to go to Canada. And the food was very good too. And I don't know, I can't name many bad things about Canada. Can you?
I didn't like how this is gonna sound weird. Well, not weird.
I've said a lot weirder things on this podcast, so don't worry.
But no, I'm not gonna try to sound this like I'm complaining, but it was unusual how small the portions were at restaurants.
Yeah.
Like we're used to huge portions. Like a small here at Dunkin' Donuts, for instance, is they're large. So yeah, it's just a few different things, and how you can't get ketchup, a lot of ketchup at restaurants. That's kind of annoying.
I hate Avril Lavigne, so
we didn't see her though, so that's positive.
Yeah, but just being in Canada, you can feel the life force of.
I'm sure there's a few American performers who you're not particularly fond of.
But they're American.
Oh yeah.
I support all America.
And going back to that whole proportions thing, when we went to the Roy Rogers in New York, we saw this mug for soda or whatever that was 64 ounces. I mean, that is big enough to go on your head.
That is a gallon of soda, for those who are wondering.
For $7.
A gallon of soda. That's like half a gallon of sugar, just like. That's just like a cavity's dream, pretty much. But we had a fun time, and our hotel was, got the job done.
Yeah.
We did a good job finding a low price. We were a little bit outside the city, but that's all right. It
made for good walking around outside afterwards.
It did, and
where Bacteria Mike enjoyed his Cuban around midnight last night while Eric was dozing off.
Yeah, I fell asleep. I don't even remember falling asleep, but it's probably the first time that I've been sober that's happened to me. So it was kind of a new experience for me. That's how much fun I had on this trip. I was just so tired by the end of it, which is a good sign.
Oh yeah, that happened to me on the way in, just from the very long day on Friday. It's always kind of weird that happens, because you come to and you're like, 30 miles away or an hour later, and it just totally blows you away that something like that could happen. And then everyone just says, oh hey, you're awake, and you said, I fell asleep.
Then John was a trooper and drove the entire way, both to and from Canada, which is...
Well, hey,
that's a good.
I'll give Bacteria Mike some credit. He drove from our hotel to Niagara Falls to give me a little bit of a resting period.
And then I drove into the city one day too.
Yeah, when we were on our vacation, I bookended it with driving. We'll put it that way.
You had enough.
Right. You guys gave me some resting time.
Unfortunately, we did not find Degrassi Street, which was very depressing for me, which was really sad. I know, it was...
Another thing to put on the agenda for next year.
Yeah, I was really hoping I could find, like, Jimmy Brooks and...
You can go to Degrassi Street while the rest of us go do something cool.
I was hoping to find Toby and JT and Ashley Kerwin, Jimmy Brooks, and Spinner Mason, and Miss Kwan. Snake. So okay, I'll stop naming characters from Degrassi, but
pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I want to get off right here.
No, you want to go to exit 51B.
It's okay. Next year I'll go with you and we'll enjoy some pizza.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And the pizza guy got very lucky yesterday. He made it with 4 minutes left.
Yeah. The Canadian pizza chain. It's kind of like Domino's. It's called just Pizza, and they have a deal where if you get delivery, if it's over 40 minutes, it's free. And the first night we ordered from Pizza, they were there in like 20 minutes, no problem. Second night, it was like 37 minutes, and he was there. But to be honest with you, I think I would have just paid anyways, because I'd feel like a jerk knowing, like, it's just a pizza delivery guy, it's not... I just would feel like a jerk knowing, like, say he came at 45 minutes. If it was an hour, I'd probably be mad, but I don't know. What would you guys done if it was 45?
I don't care. You're the one who was in charge of the money for paying the pizza guy, so I would have just sat on the bed and let you take care of it.
What do you think, Mike?
Well, I'd probably pay. I mean, because that money has to come from somewhere,
Yeah.
I think he was pretty close, so it wouldn't have been a huge catastrophe, but yeah, I would have still paid.
Yeah.
That is true. There's no reason for them to be over 40 minutes when they were only 10 minutes, or not even 5 minutes down the road.
Yeah. And
One thing that I thought was funny, I remember when Domino's Pizza, they used to have like a 20-minute deal, and then there was getting like car accidents all everywhere, and there was all sorts of like horrible stuff going on. People had to rush to get their pizzas, so at least they were nice enough to do 40 for the pizza delivery guy, so worked out well. And unfortunately, we never found the McPizza. John looked everywhere, hoping there would be a McDonald's pizza, because he had heard that Canadian McDonald's has weird menu items, which they actually do. In Quebec, they have some funky items there that I've seen, but unfortunately, in Ontario, they really didn't have.
They had the Aero McFlurry.
Yeah, they have the Aero McFlurry, which is an Aero bar, which is a Canadian candy you can't get here, which is awesome. They had that, but that's really all we saw. There was no McPizza, so that was disappointing. I don't know, what else? Any other disappointments besides no McPizza?
I don't know. We got the Tim Hortons, so I was happy with that because we kept talking about going there, but we just never could because they're either just in the wrong part of town or they were closed or something like that. But this morning we finally were able to get some on the way out, so I was happy with that at least.
Yeah, Tim Hortons, for those of you who don't know, it's kind of like Canadian Dunkin' Donuts, only it's awesome. I liked it better personally. Did you guys like Tim Hortons better?
I found it to be pretty similar. The donut was a lot fresher.
Donuts are very good.
Yeah.
Much better than Dunkin's, I think.
Yeah, Dunkin' Donuts they don't have very good donuts, so.
I like their donuts, but this one was more fresh.
Yeah. What about you, Mike?
I'm in agreement for sure.
In agreement, so.
And their Canadian maple is much better than the maple that you get at Dunkin's, that's for sure.
It's because it was Canadian and not American maple A. We didn't hear too many A's.
I didn't hear any.
Yeah, I was hoping I'd hear some more A's, which was unfortunate, but that's okay. I mean, we did see a sign in the Hockey Hall of Fame that said, A-O, Canada go.
5 miles on Route
But that's about it for A. But anyways, I think I'm just about ready to sign off. We're about 10 minutes from the homeland, aka our town in southern New Hampshire. And I'm getting pretty tired.
I'm right there with you, man.
Alright, so this has been a productive journey. I'd like to thank you guys for joining us. I'd like to thank our listeners for still be listening to this point in this special episode. And I'd like to thank the country of Canada for putting up with us. And as always, I'd like to thank ourselves, because without us, this wouldn't be possible.
I agree, because we are the most important people ever. Right?
Except PPR.
Right, Mike?
Yes, I thank you very much. It's always an honor to be with you guys.
But Mike, you're more important, right?
Oh, of course.
Okay, there you go. All right, so au revoir.
Arrivederci.
Ciao. До свидания.
Oh, pants down. Oh.